Welcome back to the second of the Parasport home workout videos with Kiera and Miranda. Today, as you can see, Kiera is going to do some lying down exercises while I'll do them in the chair. If you want to try the lying down version but you're not safe to get to the floor, you can do it on a bed. It will be a bit harder, but as long as you can feel those muscles working, you're doing the right thing. Today we're focusing on strength. Lateral bends. So Kiera's going to lie down and I'm going to do it sat straight up in the chair. The first thing we want to think about is our stomach muscles. So we're pulling them in, making them useful in this exercise. And Kiera's going to reach her arm down towards her ankle while I'm going to head straight towards the floor. We're trying to use the muscles on the side of our trunk for this motion. So sat in the chair, you want to make sure you're not leaning back and forth as you're doing this exercise. You're really trying to get a straight line side to side and you're using that postural control. In both positions, you're really using those side muscles as you reach slowly further and further. Shouldn't be a painful exercise, this is just a start up. Okay, and relax. Okay, the bridge. So Kiera's going to do it with her knees bent. If you struggle with this, you can put cushions under your calves so you've got something to push down against. In the chair, make sure you're nice and solid so you can put your weight through your legs. We're going to start again with those stomach muscles. So I want you to tilt your back to flatten against the floor and hold the muscles there. If you're in the chair, you're stretching that lower back out and you're pulling in those stomach muscles. Then you're going to put weight through your arms. So I'm going to use the arms of the chair. You can always use your palms. And you're going to lift, tuck your bottom in, lift it up off the floor and try and bring a nice straight line from your knees, your hips and your shoulders. And then you're going to come nice and controlled back down again. So think about the control you're using. You're going to lift up again, pull that bottom in, pull the stomach muscles in. And I want you to think, as you go down, think about the control. One layer of the spine at a time as it touches back down on the floor or the chair. And then we're going to do a few, we're just going to keep moving. So you lift up to the top, a little hold at the top, pull in the stomach and bottom, and control back down again. And up again. If it hurts your shoulders, then try and do it just off the palms of your hands if you're in the chair. We can bring it forward, and we're just trying to bring those hips forward and control back down again. If you're not getting any movement, as long as you can feel those muscles engaging as you try and lift up and slowly down, then we're already getting a workout for those thigh muscles. So two more, lifting up, lowering down with control, and last one, lift up and lower down and relax. Pre-crunch. So this is an important exercise before you do any sort of sit-up movement. We're getting control of our stomach and our back and making sure that our back is safe. It's really easy to do a jerking sit-up and we don't want that. So I suggest this before any sort of sit-up exercise. Kiera's going to do it lying down. So while she's lying down, she can put her hand under her back and find a little arch in her back. When we're sat, we can still feel that arch. It's not as obvious, but it's just above the crack of your bottom. And then what you want to do is push against your hand. So in Kiera's case, her back is going to flatten against the floor. And in seated, I'm going to exaggerate, we're slouching essentially. And we're just pulling our stomach muscles in and tilting our pelvis. So we're going to practice that, pulling that in, and try not to use our shoulders, let them move. And then we're going to come to the front. So we're going to put our fingers on our hip bone, a middle finger, and a thumb on the bottom of the ribs. Now don't worry if you can't exactly find them, but that general area, because all you want to do is then try and bring those two places just a little bit closer together by pulling in the stomach muscles and pushing that pelvis back. So you're getting that start of a crunch motion as your stomach squeezes together, the hips come towards the ribs. And we can do that in sitting or standing, just rolling that pelvis and engaging those stomach muscles. So that is really good, what they call it an impression, for your stomach muscles to know that is where you would start with a sit-up. And we're going to move from the reverse sit-up to a twisting crunch. So we're going to go back, but not as far, and we're going to try and twist from side to side. So lower yourself down, and then just try and twist one way, and then the other. So again, keeping your legs down, really important, keeping your stomach tight, and you can come back up between each one, or you can stay there and twist. And then if you're feeling very strong, you can go a bit further and try and get your elbow to touch the floor behind you. Don't let those legs move. If you can't lean very far, that's fine. Just stay in your own ability, your own range of motion, as long as you can feel those stomach muscles working away, those obliques trying to help you twist. And if you have to lean and touch the floor, but you can lift back up with control, then we can do it this way and really get those obliques involved in each twist. We come back to center and we can relax. And then we're going to go to buttock clams. So for this, if you're lying, you want to pick a side to start with. You're going to lie with your knees bent and your knees in front of your torso. What you really want to think about is that your shoulder and your hip are in a line, and that your hips are stacked on top of each other. So when we do the movement, you're not rolling back with your torso. In the chair, you want that good posture, sitting up, pulling the stomach muscles in. Make sure you're using your buttocks. And we're going to start with our ankles together. So ankles on top of each other if you can in lying. And knees, the knees are the most important bit, knees together. And all you're going to do is lift the knee, opening with the feet staying together, and lower. Now obviously if you're lying down, you're going to have gravity against you. So you're really using those bottom muscles. If you're seated, you might want to give it a little extra resistance. So I'm going to put my hand and push back quite hard and keep that control as I open and close. But you might have a resistance band or something else that you can use that you're comfortable with. Also really important, think about lying down, not rolling back. That's use of the stomach muscles. Same is true in sitting. You want to control your stomach, pull it in, keep everything tight as you control that opening and closing movement. We're going to do a few more on one side, and then we're going to see if we can swap over. That's it. Couple more. And we're going to swap to the other side. So it's easy for me. Kiera has to turn around. If you're lying on a prosthesis, you might find it a bit painful. You might want a cushion, or you can even take it off. Work with what works for you. Get that same position, hip and shoulder lined up, knees stacked on top of each other, hips stacked on top of each other, pull the stomach in, and then just lifting that knee away, nice and controlled, up and down. And then bringing the extra resistance in. So you can give the extra resistance when you're lying if you want, or if you're struggling with it, you can use the hand to help you push open and closed. We're going to add that little bit of resistance so you're also feeling a bit of a workout in your chest as you do this. And a couple more. And lovely, and relax. Having used all these muscles, we want to stretch them out a little bit and ease everything off. This time we're going to go feet upwards because that's where we've mainly been working. So just start by wiggling your toes and rolling your ankles around. You might hear a lovely cracking noise from mine. Just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then we want to bend and extend the knees. We just want to ease those out. You sitting, you've had them bent the whole time, but these thigh muscles have been working. So we want to warm them up, ease them out, and then we're going to try and stretch them. So we're going to start with a classic trying to touch your toes. So leaning forward in the chair, or if you've got a stool you can lift the foot on. And we really want to think about getting our stomach to our thigh. It doesn't matter if you can't touch your toes, it is this bit that you're stretching. You should feel it across the back of your thigh. And so it's much more about trying to fold at the waist than trying to touch the toes. Feel that stretch on both sides. If you're uneven one side or the other, you can start moving. Gentle little bobs from side to side. And then we want to come back up and we want to try and stretch our buttocks out a little bit. So we're going to take one leg and lay it across the other. And we're going to push down into that leg to stretch out. And then lean forward. And then if you want to, you can swap sides. And same thing, pushing it down into that knee and leaning forward. Try and feel the stretch across your buttock. And then relax. And because we've done a lot with our hands, we're going to do our hand stretches. So straight out in front of you, pulling the fingers back with one hand. And feeling that stretch across the palm and the forearm. And then going the other way. Other hand. And same thing off other side, stretching out. And we're also doing the palms down. Both sides. I'm using extra resistance, but you can do it just on the pull. And then we want to stretch our triceps. So we take your hand and put it between our shoulder blades and use the opposite hand to pull that elbow towards our head. And just holding that stretch there. See, you should feel stretches, but they should not be painful. And then release that arm and swap over. So again, palm between the shoulder blade, pulling with the opposite arm. Try not to push on your head. No pressure on the neck. Stretching till you feel it across that arm. And then we're just going to do our full body one. So linking the fingers, arms up in the air, and leaning one way, and leaning the other way, and back again, and last one, and relax. Thanks for joining us today. Take care, keep active, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.